go right into the questions.
Okay, so on page 153, the narrator is thinking about killing and eating a dog for food. So what do you think this tells you about the resources and supply that they had to live?
Well, he was like stuck kind of in underneath like rubble of a house, I think it was. But he was stuck there for a while, so he like didn't, and then it was like he was surrounded by the Martians, so he couldn't like get anywhere. So I think that he was really running out of like options and resources, and like he was saying like good dog, and he said it very softly, like it says that. So it kind of shows like how he's like kind of losing his humanity, or like he's something so sweet that we all like think, you know, you would never eat a dog, especially like not in our country, I guess, with our culture. But it like kind of turns. So like I think that was like one of the big things about the book too, is like the loss of humanity and everything, and that's kind of happening there.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, and then so the narrator's brother was still living in London, and so it's kind of giving us perspective on how another part of people is reacting. And then I kind of like thought, how do you think other countries are reacting? Because it's like a global thing, but we're only focusing on like England. But how do you think that other countries are reacting to the Martians coming?
I mean, it was written a long time ago, so I don't know how like efficient newspapers were then.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting question.
I think it says somewhere that someone said, I think it was like the artilleryman said to him, like everyone who had money went to France and like ran to France. So I don't know if that was like also being like attacked as harshly, but I think a lot of people went there. And also like you said with like, I don't know how well like the word is spreading, because and he wouldn't know if it was global, he wouldn't know if it was just because like he didn't even know if his own wife was alive, and so there's also that.
That's where like the humanity thinks everybody's all cut off from each other.
Yeah. And then also it says here at the end of like chapter 6, he was like, perhaps now they were destroying Berlin or Paris, or it might be they had gone northward. So like he really has no idea where they are, where they're going.
I was also thinking like, since this was like a long time ago, and I'm kind of thinking of like how cultures were like back then, and they didn't know as much, and I feel like more ethnic religions would think that they might be like gods or like descended from somewhere too. Okay, and then last question, the bacteria that killed the Martians, why do you think it was only harming them and not humans?
Well, humans have been living on Earth since like forever, so I think the humans had just kind of like that tolerance to it, or like that immunity.
Okay, that's it for the.
I have 3 like quotes from it. The first one's on page 173, and it's like the artilleryman talking to him, and he says, the quote is, "This isn't war," said the artilleryman. "It was never a war, any more than there's a war between man and ants." And it's like comparing people to animals, like losing their humanity, and then it's kind of like hopeless. And then the next one, it's on page 137, and the quote is like, it says, "To me, it's quite credible that the Martians may be descended from beings not unlike ourselves." So it's like saying that like something like, you know, people like act like the Martians do. It's like comparing them.
Yeah, there's like a parallel between those two.
It's like saying that people aren't perfect or whatever. And then the last one I have is on 180, and it says, The Martians dead, slain by the putrescent and diseased bacteria against which their systems were unprepared, slain after all man's devices had failed by the humblest things that God in his wisdom has put upon the earth. And so but it's like, at the end, it's like humanity can't defend themselves, it's just like the virus that killed the Martians.
Yeah, I think it's like a little bit, it's kind of funny how like there's like huge Martians and like humans and everything, like every violent thing like that they could, that like every man-made thing that they had, like guns and artillery, none of that could kill it except for like one tiny little like unseen thing.
Yeah, right.
So, okay, and then I did some research on him. So like H.G. Wells also does like, he's written like a lot of kind of like science fiction books like this. And so he worked as a draper's assistant for a while to help out his like family, because they were like really poor in their store that they had was failing, and then he like did not like that at all. So like he's continued to like study, and then he won a scholarship to the Normal School of Science, and then went on to like go to different like universities and colleges and study science there. And then a lot of his themes like reoccurred that are like were kind of like had to deal with his like political views. So he was like, I think I talked about this before a little bit, but he like supported socialist ideologies, and he like explored issues of like different social classes, which is kind of shows up here because there's like the power struggle between like the humans and the Martians. And then also there's something funny. He like before the book was published, he published like a small segment in like a magazine, and an illustrator drew like the Martians, and he was like super unhappy and like really mad about it because the Martians weren't like fluid enough, I guess, and he didn't think that they were like realistic enough. And so I think that was also this kind of like a big thing about the book, is how like the Martians, like you said, they descended from like, they may have descended from the same person. So that was like a big idea for him, that they would like look very human-like or look very like alive like that. So yeah.